July 30th, 1945. The Pacific Ocean lies quiet, almost too quiet. A moonless night, a black sky. An American heavy cruiser tears through the darkness at nearly 17 knots, returning from a mission so secret that almost no one on board knows what they've done. That ship is the USS Indianapolis. In just a few hours, she will become the center of the deadliest single disaster in U.S. Navy history. A tragedy made worse not only by enemy torpedoes, but by silence, secrecy, and abandonment. This is the death of the Indianapolis. Days earlier, the Indianapolis departed from San Francisco's Mare Island under strict orders. No escorts, no public announcements, no lights, no questions. Her captain, Charles Butler McVeigh III, carries sealed papers containing a mission known to only a handful of people in the world. The cruiser travels to Tinian Island, delivering the uranium core for Little Boy, the first atomic bomb ever used in war. Critical components essential for assembling the weapon. Scientists and military couriers from the Manhattan Project. A mission so sensitive, the ship became a ghost on the ocean, slipping through Japanese submarine lines unnoticed. The delivery succeeds. After handing off the components, the Indianapolis turns toward the Philippines, unaware that fate has already placed a predator in her path. Beneath the calm surface of the Philippine Sea, another story unfolds. The Japanese submarine Monter 58, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Mochitsura Hashimoto, patrols the waters. Hours earlier, Hashimoto cursed his luck. Every target had escaped his reach. But tonight, he spots a silhouette on the horizon. Hashimoto later wrote, "It looked like a great black castle moving across the sea. With incredible precision, he moves into firing position. At 0014 hours, he launches 6 Type 95 torpedoes, fast, deadly, oxygen-powered. The sea breathes fire. 0014 a.m. Sailors aboard the Indianapolis hear a roar, a violent tremor that shudders through the hull. The first torpedo hits near the bow, blowing open fuel stores and igniting a tower of flame. Seconds later, a second torpedo slams into the starboard side, near the powder magazine. Compartments flood instantly. Electricity fails. The ship begins to roll. Crewman Harold Bray later said, "It felt like the entire bow just disappeared." Fire races down passageways. Sailors stumble through pitch-black corridors, clinging to their last hope of reaching daylight. Captain McVeigh gives the final command, "Abandon ship." The Indianapolis, mortally wounded, begins her death spiral. At 0023, just 12 minutes after the first explosion, the ship rolls sharply to starboard. Her stern lifts, and the proud cruiser slides beneath the waves. Over 900 men plunge into the Black Ocean. The ship transmits no distress signal, and none is received. The survivors find themselves scattered across miles of open water. Some have life jackets. Many do not. Hundreds are covered in fuel oil, blinded, choking, trying to stay afloat. In the chaos, sailors cling to one another. Water tender Adolfo Chalaya recalls, "The ocean was pitch black. All you could hear were voices calling for help, and then silence as they slipped away. Waves lift and pull bodies like rag dolls. Men tried desperately to stay together, repeating numbers so rescuers, if they ever came, might find them. But rescue is not coming, because no one knows they're missing. Day 1, hope fades. Hours pass. The sun rises, burning down on exhausted, oil-coated men. They begin to realize the truth. The Navy believes the Indianapolis is still on schedule. No one expects her. No one is looking for her. Men cling to debris. Some pray, some scream, some fall silent. Through the day, the currents slowly begin pushing the groups apart. The ocean swallows their voices. That's when the sharks arrive. At first, the sharks circle quietly, gray shapes in the deep, dorsal fins slicing the surface. Many survivors later said the same words. "At first, we didn't believe what we were seeing." The first attacks are sudden, a scream, a rush of water, then nothing. The sharks, oceanic white tips, among the most aggressive predators in warm waters, are drawn by blood, sound, and desperation. The sailors slap the water, kick, punch, scream. But the sharks keep coming. They strike at limbs, at life jackets, at anything that moves. Night falls. The attacks intensify. Boatswain's mate Lowell Cox recalled, "You'd hear someone scream, then hear the water splash, then silence. That silence was worse than the screams. By dawn, hundreds are already gone. The second day brings blistering heat. Many men drink seawater in panic. They begin to hallucinate, seeing ships, islands, fountains of fresh water. Some swim toward visions that don't exist. Some believe rescuers have arrived and slip underwater, never resurfacing." Seaman Edgar Harrell, one of the last survivors, later wrote, "We lost as many to insanity as we did to the sharks. Fuel oil clings to their skin. Salt water rots their wounds. Dehydration cracks their lips and tongues. And still, no rescue. On the third day, the survivors confront the enemy. None can escape. The Pacific sun. Tongues swell, skin splits, eyes burn from fuel oil. Men become delirious. Some turn violent, fighting one another, convinced someone is hiding fresh water. Chief radio man Glenn H. Stout remembered watching men try to drown themselves just to end the suffering. Sharks continue their grim feast, now attacking weakened swimmers who drift away from the groups. Bodies float everywhere. The survivors begin to understand. This is not a rescue. This is an endurance test against nature, against starvation, against fear, against death itself. On the fourth day, dawn breaks like any other, hot, brutal, endless. But at 11 a.m., high above the ocean, salvation appears not from orders, but from a mistake. A PV-1 Ventura patrol bomber, flown by Lieutenant Wilbur Chuck Gwynn, is searching for Japanese submarines. By coincidence, Gwynn looks down. He sees a dark stain stretching across the ocean, fuel oil, and then he sees men, dozens, hundreds. He cannot believe it. Gwynn radios the message that would save lives. Many men in the water. Send rescue. It is the first time in 4.5 days that the Navy learns the Indianapolis is gone. Rescue ships race toward the coordinates. Amphibious PBY seaplanes roar overhead. One pilot, Lieutenant Adrian Marks, breaks strict orders and lands his aircraft on open ocean swells to pick up the most helpless survivors. He pulls dozens aboard his plane, then fills the wings, then the fuselage, then the roof. He eventually rescues 56 men alone. Destroyer USS Cecil J. Doyle rushes at full speed, turning on all searchlights, risking enemy attack, so survivors will know help is coming. Captain W. Graham Claytor Jr. says, "If it gives those men hope, then light it up." By nightfall, ships begin plucking survivors from the water. After 5 days, approximately 316 men remain alive. Over 880 have died. When the survivors reach land, they learn something shocking. The Navy tries to place blame on Captain McVeigh. He becomes the only captain in U.S. naval history ever court-martialed for losing his ship to enemy action in wartime. He is accused of failing to zigzag, negligence, despite being denied intelligence of Japanese submarines, being made a scapegoat to hide communication failures. Even the Japanese commander, Hashimoto, testifies that zigzagging would not have changed the outcome. Yet McVeigh is convicted. Haunted by the loss of his crew, receiving hate mail for decades, McVeigh tragically takes his own life in 1968. It takes 55 years before his name is finally cleared by Congress. The USS Indianapolis was more than a ship. She carried the seeds of the atomic age, the hopes of a nation, the lives and dreams of 1,195 sailors. Her sinking became a symbol not only of war's brutality, but of the courage, endurance, and unbreakable will of the men who fought to stay alive in impossible conditions. For 5 days, they battled hunger, thirst, madness, and one of the deadliest shark-feeding frenzies in recorded history. And somehow, some lived, so that we would never forget. The ocean still holds the bones of the Indianapolis and the stories of the men who never came home. But as long as their tale is told, as long as their sacrifice is remembered, the USS Indianapolis will never truly be lost. This was her final voyage. This was her legacy. This was the death of the USS Indianapolis.